Hello, how's it going, everybody? So, today I thought I'd share with you some gifts I recently got for my birthday that relate to the hobby. So, the first thing I got were some brushes. Honestly, these are just some basic brushes that I'd be using for base coats, and it has an interesting name Fu Mui. I never heard of the brand before, but I thought I'd give it a shot. I think it's interesting. It says Fumui series fascinates you by the beautiful appearance and the amazing experience from using. So it's very English sounding. Okay. So so I think somewhere on the packaging it says these are Kolinsky sable, but uh, I seriously doubt it. So I mean I haven't used these before, but I can already tell it's already really stiff. Hopefully a little water will soften that up. It'll be more usable. So I hope. But if not, these weren't too much. So just basic brushes for base coats and everyday use. So yeah, I think these are important. And I only really want to use my more expensive brushes for really for jobs that really require it, like highlights, anything with a lot of precision needed. So it's good to have a lot of basic brushes on hand. So that way they're kind of expendable. I can dry brush with them and I can be a little rougher with it, not worry about it. So the next thing I got was these, was it Sisters of Avalorn for High Elves? Like I said in one of my previous videos, I was looking to kind of collect some older High Elf models. Yeah, I really like a High Elf range, and I think it's kind of a tragedy that they just kind of, you know, pull the plug on a lot of the High Elf models, because I think they were some of my favorite ranges from the fantasy series. And it's a shame that I kind of took it for granted when, when Warhammer Fantasy was more of a thing. So, yeah, so I have the things I showed off in the previous video, and I really like this unit with the archers with the flaming bows. It looks really cool. And my philosophy is, you always go with the rule of cool. That's the most important rule, I think, when you're choosing an army or paint scheme. What really just resonates with you optically, aesthetically, or just narrative wise. Like I used to occasionally like go after just rules and try to have the most powerful army, but I wouldn't recommend it. And definitely don't buy something you don't really like the look of, or you don't like the models, but you're just going after the rules, because the rules are always going to change and you don't know what the rules are going to be like. So something that could be really powerful today could be totally horrible like tomorrow. They could do any kind of FAQ, and I feel like as I get a little bit more mature, I think, I don't look at this game or these models as competitively as I used to. I think it's more of a, in a sense, ideally more of a narrative experience. So you kind of have to just be okay with the fact that it isn't, this Warhammer is never really going to be a perfectly competitive game. I think chess is a better, uh, is a better, is a better game if you want pure logic and competition, and not just like it's just rules creep, or imbalance in rules from different factions, because they're never going to get it perfectly balanced. So, and last but not least, I got this Orc Big Mech with a Shokk attack gun. I really like this model, and I was looking at the new one they made out of plastic, but it just didn't do it for me. It just looked, something about it looked kind of awkward. Just, I don't know if it's the pose or it just looks flatter, or the design's a little different. I know the plastic one, it doesn't have this chain and this little icon on the pole, so I really like. And I just like his headgear better on this one. It just has more nuanced kind of details in pewter. So this was purchased on eBay. So because they don't make this anymore. Let's see what's inside. Okay. So let me see if I can get this in focus. Yeah, this looks good. Lots of nice little details. I'm very much a purist when it comes to pewter over fine cast. I really don't like working with fine cast, so I'm willing to pay a little more for pewter, just because I think the quality's there. It's still annoying to put together and takes a lot of effort to really, make sure it holds, and you got to pin in, you got to use green stuff to fill in the gaps, but you do get some nice subtle details. And I really like this gun. It's a very interesting and unique design. I think it's one of the more unique and interesting kind of designs for a weapon in 40K. So I'm happy to own it finally. It's just so creative and interesting. It's a very clever or weird concept, which I think is cool. You have to be careful with metal not to bend things too much, because if you bend it too much, it might snap off. So I'm just carefully seeing what kind of work needs to be done. I'm gonna need to really bend this chain where it connects on top there. So yeah, this is a little bent, but it's fairly easily bent back. I'm not gonna do it right now, but just thinking about it. It's a tube and the coils. Here's some smaller details. Yeah, I really like this head. Just the little goggles. The little snarling. I think everything is going to need to be pinned. I've learned with metal, if in doubt, you always have to pin, basically. Well, got some pretty deep grooves. So maybe I won't have to pin, but I probably will. So yeah, metal's pretty fragile. We don't want it to break, so I recommend pinning it, the drill bit, and maybe using a little green stuff, super glue. It should hold. So definitely looking forward to painting this, and love to share how it turns out. Yeah, you'll notice all my characters from my army are all pewter. Like my war boss and all the tank bustas are all pewter. I have a weird boy that's pewter. I just really like pewter models. They're annoying to put together, but they're satisfying. I like the details. So I thought I'd share this with you. I hope you've gotten some value from it. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. And have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.